How many have you got? You've just got one now. I'm Margaret Cooper, and I really run the Oxton Toad Project, which is basically covering both the toad crossings in Oxton. There's one on the other side of the island here, on the other side of the village at Blind Lane, and there's this one here, which is Beanford Lane. And this, I suppose, is the most important one. Because of the water splash going across the road, a lot of toads do cross here. There we are. There we are. Now that is a lovely one. I just think, oops! The fabulous little creatures. Beanford Lane has been here with this water splash for a long time. But my husband and I came down cycling here about 1998, and we were horrified to find an awful lot of squashed toads here. And I did jokingly say we're just going to have to close this road to protect the toads, because they come down this road, all down the whole of the length of this road, crossing, and just get squashed. And amazingly, when I approached the Notts County Council Highways Department and said I would like to close the road, they did actually agree to it, which was full marks for Notts County Council, because I think they're the first county council to have agreed to a road closure for toad migration. So we were pretty amazed that we actually did close the road for the toads then. So it's coming up for about 10 years now that it's been closed every spring for the toads.
I'm Paddy Tipping, I'm the MP for Sherwood. Sherwood's a great place in Nottinghamshire with a lot of environmental issues, and this issue of the toads is one of them that I've been interested in for many years. Well, Margaret is very pushy and talks to everybody, and really is a dynamic figure locally. Margaret was keen to see the road closed to stop the toads being destroyed, and put together the first scheme, was looking for sponsorship because there's a cost to close the road, and I became involved and have helped ever since.
The toads actually cross, as I say, all along this road, but they also come down a long way. They travel about a good mile, which is amazing considering how small they are. So they come right down from up the Wimbush Lane. So unfortunately they do get squashed on that road, and then of course they travel down here, and they travel very slowly, toads, unlike frogs that hop along quite quickly. Toads sort of wobble along, and they really stand very little chance when they're fast moving traffic down here. So I would think at least half of them would get squashed if the road wasn't closed.
I'm Paul Leroy, Chief Executive of Nottinghamshire Wildlife Trust. The Wildlife Trust has worked with Margaret for nearly 10 years now. Early on we appreciated the importance of the campaign. Casualties with toads right across the county has been significant for many years, and we saw this as a unique opportunity to work with the county council and Margaret and her team of volunteers to take this to a new level.
We all want a better environment, a better countryside, not just for us, but for our children too, and in its effect preserving the wildlife, but most importantly involving local people, local children in the campaign, making them understood the importance of wildlife really has been a very significant step forward, and we can't praise Margaret and the work that she's been doing and the sponsors that we've had in the past too much.
Well, at this time of year we hear about a huge number of toad casualties on the road, and we are talking hundreds of toads killed in their breeding season. So a number of volunteers and voluntary groups work to try and protect them, get them safely to their breeding sites. This project is unique in the fact that we do achieve a road closure that gives them greater protection. Volunteering is very important for nature conservation here in Nottinghamshire and right across the country. A wide range of organisations particularly the wildlife trusts, promote people getting involved and working in their community, enhancing the natural environment for the benefit not only of wildlife but of course making it a nicer place for people to live.
Well, the road closure is now much more accepted. They know that this will close in March each year. So there are few people who still push the barrier aside and come through. So each day I come down to push it back again. And I do check as to when the toads are crossing, and unfortunately it's been quite dry and cold, which is not good conditions for them. They need warm, wet conditions, so we still don't think the majority have crossed over yet. So we're praying for a downpour in the next day or two so that they will actually all cross before the road opens again. If this road is closed for a flood, you just bang up a sign and say road closed, flood. But if you're closing it for something very specific like this and for a month, you have to pay the AA for putting up the actual barriers either side of the water splash. But they put up all the signs which say road closed at either end and diversion signs. So that costs around £500 each time. This particular project is a bit of a one-off, and it has support, but it's not a village project as such. I mean, there are a whole lot of things going on in the village, but this, I think, is definitely a bit of a one-off, really. But I do get support when I have a coffee morning. People do come and support that. So that raised about £100 last weekend, so that's good.
This is unique and has been running now nearly for 10 years, and one of the things that we've got to persuade people to do is to take a greater interest in their local environment. So I'm very keen about all the work that Margaret and others, the Wildlife Trust, have been doing to promote this scheme, to show people how you can enhance your local environment.
The achievement here is unsurpassed, really. We have problems like this elsewhere across the county. We have a huge number of volunteers that do a wide range of volunteering activity for us, improving the wildlife and nature across the countryside of Nottinghamshire. But in this particular case, Margaret's got a band of people together, very enthusiastic, prepared to come out on often wet nights to retrieve the toads, and the cooperation with others to achieve the road closure means a combination of lobbying, advocacy to get that support, the financial support she's sought from a wide range of sources, and the group of people that volunteer has been an amazing effort.
Green issues, climate change issues, very much top of the political agenda at the moment. And what we've got to persuade people to do is these aren't big international issues, but we can make a difference locally. We can lift the landscape, we can enhance the environment, we can protect wildlife in our areas if we work together. This is a great example. We've got to encourage others to do more.